Fred. Hey, Mark, life has been beating me down trying to get back to check out your lives. Anyways, what's your thoughts on what the program is doing at this point? Okay, Fred, I hope everything's okay by the sound of it. I hope you're just busy. Being busy and then having bad things happen are two different things. So hopefully you're just busy and not dealing with too much in life, but I appreciate the question. Well, like I've said a few times, this program just went out and hired a head coach who is, aside from Mark Richt, and I've explained that situation before and my perspective on that situation. So we're going to put that aside because Mark Richt could certainly have been successful here. And to date, obviously, has a much more impressive track record than Mario Cristobal. So let's put Mark Richt aside because he obviously was highly successful at Georgia, build a top 10 program, and he actually did build that program. He had a lot of resources, yes, but Georgia was not Georgia before Mark Richt. They had come through a down 10 or 12 years. So Mark Richt was a great hire by Miami, just was not a good time in his life, and he made one bad decision in regards to the family legacy. Okay, Mark Richt aside, every coach after Butch Davis that has been hired by this football program, look at what it's been. Every coach has been unsuccessful before Miami and after Miami. They have not hired a coach, and that's Shannon, Golden, to a certain extent, even though he won a national championship, that's Coker, Shannon, Golden, and now Diaz. Never accomplished anything as a head coach before Miami or after Miami. So they obviously have not hired well at head coach. Mario Cristobal, though, you can argue that in his 3 to 4 years at Oregon, has been a top 10 coach in the country. So I don't want to call it a home run hire, but something close to one. And then the two coordinator hires, I'm not necessarily quite as high on Josh Gaddis as maybe some others are. I'm also not as down on him as others are that think that he just kind of piggybacked off of the Jim Harbaugh offense. I think that he brought innovation and ideas to that offense, which basically took a run-oriented offense. This is why I think Josh Gaddis is such a good fit for Miami. Mario Cristobal, Jim Harbaugh, cut out of the same cloth when it comes to offensive-minded football, leaning on the running game and the offensive line. Okay, so you're going to see a power running game out of Miami, very similar to Michigan, but Gaddis brought the bells and whistles. He brought the innovation on the outside, playing guys in space, getting the ball out to guys in space quickly, doing all those things from a creative standpoint that complemented the power running game. And I think he'll do the same at Miami and may eventually have better wide receivers and has a better quarterback to be more effective at Miami. Kevin Steele's a first-rate defensive coordinator. Man, Charlie Strong, that is probably the hire that most underlines where Miami is today versus what Miami was even 6 months ago, when you can get a guy the caliber of Charlie Strong, who's been a successful head coach, albeit not at Texas, of course, but at Louisville, and one of the best defensive minds in the game to be your linebackers coach. You've got one of the top 3 to 5 quarterbacks in the nation. We're only basing that on 8 to 9 games played, which I think is a small sample size, but still, I think it was enough. He had 2 marginal games to start his career, and then once he got rolling and cleaned up the mistakes, man, he was throwing for 350 and 3 to 4 touchdowns every week. Beat the 2 best teams in the conference other than Clemson, probably, NC State and Pitt. It all looks good. It all looks good. Die Hard says that the spring practice has a different feel. Players look bigger, better, also bigger, ripped. Yeah, and that's what you want to see because Miami's had tremendous athletes and really good top 20, top 15 to 25 caliber athletes. But man, when you go to that elite level, there's just something that's just even beyond that big time college football body shape when you see the Alabama players, for example, get off the bus. And that's what Miami's trying to get to.